What is up, Stanio Clanio? Happy Sunday evening. Welcome into Team Stanio Live. My name is Eric Stanio. I'm a Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky realtor here in the greater Cincinnati area. So glad to have you in. We're talking all things Cincinnati real estate, news, and living in the area. And a big night tonight. Had to get in a little bit early because our Cincinnati Bengals are hosting the Buffalo Bills. Hoping for a few touchdowns from my boys, Burrow and Chase tonight. Big game. And we got to keep up because I believe, I haven't checked the scoreboard fully. You guys let me know, but I'm pretty sure Steelers won, Ravens won, Browns won, Chiefs won. Did I miss anybody? But we gotta keep pace. So gonna get in here and we're gonna talk affordability tonight in Cincinnati. I'm excited about this topic. I keep seeing news story after news story about how the average American is getting priced out of housing and the median home price is pushing up, the highest it's been in years. Obviously, we've got mortgage interest rates pushing that 8%. They came down a little bit this week, but they're still really, really high. So affordability is a huge issue. So I want to talk about, I know a lot of people who watch this channel, some people who watch this channel are local. And growing. I'm glad to see that. Some people who watch this channel are local real estate agents. And by the way, agents, if your business is struggling in this shift that's hit us in the last year or so, hit us up at Team Stanio because we are hiring, we are growing, and we would love to talk to you about being on the team. But a lot of you who are watching here are not in Cincinnati, Ohio, and you're thinking potentially about moving to the area. And I want to look at some numbers tonight. I want to look at where we are. And we're going to have a little fun because we're going to take that median home price that is across the nation, and we're going to show you exactly what that will buy you here in Cincinnati or Northern Kentucky. We'll look at the houses. We can even compare it to where you're from. If you want to jump in the chat, let us know where you're watching from. We can take a look at what is the cost of living in Cincinnati versus where you're from, and what is the house that you're going to get here versus the house you're going to get there. Now, obviously, housing is not everything. Choosing a city to live in is not just about affordability, but a huge reason why more and more people are moving to Cincinnati, more and more people are moving to the Midwest is because it's affordable. And you can pack up your job and take it with you. And so why not go save 5, 10, 15, 20% on cost of living, take that money, do what you will with it, right? Invest it, go on trips, go on vacations, save for your kids' college funds, enjoy a bigger house, whatever it is, you get to pick. But if you can have a job that you can take with you, a lot of people have moved to the Midwest in a few years. So we're going to look at those numbers. We're going to look at actual neighborhoods. As always, if you have questions or comments, drop them in the chat. Would love to hear from you. It's one of my favorite things to do is jump in here on the live and interact with you guys who are watching the channel. We are getting super close to 5,000 subscribers, which is amazing. I've been putting out more short content. Would love to hear from you guys if that's helpful or not. I'm trying to feel my way through that. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, please do that. I'd love to do some collabs with local people here too. I'm curious, besides real estate, what are the top categories you guys would be interested in hearing from? Is it local business leaders? Is it lenders? Is it anything on the real estate side? Or is it more lifestyle side, like culture, and you want to see people on the foodie scene, or just what are some cool things to do in Cincinnati? But I'd love to get some, I'd love to do some collaborations with other people who have something to say here about living in the area. I think that would be fun. I want to bring that to you in the future. All right, let's jump into this. We're going to look at, like I said, we're going to look at kind of the unaffordability crisis that's going on. We're going to look at some of the best and worst places to live in America for your dollar in terms of that goes. And then we're going to look at kind of some medium home prices around the nation, cost of living here in Cincinnati. And then we're going to look at specifically what kind of home could you buy for that average median home price, which is, depending on where you look, somewhere between $410,000 and $430,000, right in there. So if you guys saw the thumbnail on this video, that's an actual house that is for sale here in Cincinnati, 4 bedrooms. It's like, I want to say that one was over like 2,800 square feet for $409,000. And there are, not that there's a ton of inventory on the market, but in terms of getting, what can you get for the median home price in America? That's a very common house that you might get. So excited to jump into it. and then maybe we'll talk a little Bengals talk before we get out of here. But I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. Let's get right into this first article here. So, all right, here's an article that came out on Money Watch on CBS News in September 28th, and the headline is homes unaffordable in 99% of nation for the average American. So let's talk about this for a second. It says the typical American cannot afford to buy a home in a growing number of communities across the nation, according to common lending standards. That's the main takeaway from a new report from real estate data provider Adam. Researchers examined the median home prices last year for roughly 575 U.S. counties and found that home prices in 99% of those areas are beyond the reach of the average income earner who makes $71,214 a year. Housing experts point to a couple of trends driving up housing costs. Mortgage rates have topped 7%, adding hundreds of dollars per month to a potential house payment. And at the same time, homeowners who locked in at lower mortgage rates during the pandemic have opted not to sell out of fear of having to buy another property at today's elevated rates, depleting the supply homes for sale. So it's hit you on both fronts. If you're a buyer, it's more expensive to buy a house. And also as a buyer, there's less inventory because a lot of the sellers are scared about the higher rates because they don't want to cash in on the equity and get the higher rate. So they're staying put and there's less inventory on the market. The only people who are selling right now are people who really need to move because of a life event. So divorce, marriage, a new baby, a new job, etc. Daryl Fairweather, chief economist of Redfin, told CBS Money Watch that lack of new inventory is keeping prices high. So this is not something new. We've talked about this on the channel over and over again, but I'm just setting the stage here for what we're going to look at tonight. As of August, the national median existing home price was $407,100, $407,100, up 3.9% from a year ago. So there's a lot of people definitely predicting last year that home prices were going to go down. And in certain places around the country, they have gone down. But overall, they've still gone up. The national median price has gone up 3.9% from a year ago. And recently, we read an article that showed that Cincinnati is one of those places where they've gone up the highest in all the nation. According to the NAR, National Association of Realtors, the average interest rate on a 30-year home loan was 7.19%, up from 6.48% at the beginning of 2023, according to Freddie Mac. Prices will remain unaffordable as long as mortgage rates continue to rise, Fairweather said. The dynamics influencing, sorry, I got a little frog in my throat. I had to drink that. The dynamics influencing the U.S. housing market appear to continuously work against everyday Americans, potentially to the point where they could start to have a significant impact on home prices. We'll see how this shakes out as the peak 2023 buying season winds down. That's kind of where we're at right now. It's winding down for the year. So it goes on to say it's very difficult for home buyers, obviously. It's unaffordable. So here's how you define this. When you must devote more than 28% of your income toward paying for a particular home. Factoring in a mortgage payment, homeowners insurance, and property taxes, the typical home price today would require 35% of someone's annual wages. So that's why it's unaffordable. Anything over 28 is unaffordable. Right now, it's 35% of your annual wages. Cities with the most unaffordable homes include Los Angeles, Chicago, Phoenix, San Diego, and Orange County, California. Communities surrounding Cleveland, Detroit, Houston, Philadelphia, or Pittsburgh have the most affordable homes compared with median salaries for residents there, according to the firm. Let's go look at that a little bit further because it's not surprising that I talk to a lot of people from Los Angeles, Chicago, Phoenix, San Diego, Orange County, California, different places. I get a lot of people coming from California who are looking to move to the Midwest. Jumping over to this article, because this is the best and worst cities for your wallet. Now, this is a year ago, but it's going to be roughly the same. But as the real estate market continues to surge, the cost of living has fluctuated in metropolitan areas throughout the country. Keep reading to learn the best and the worst. So we're going to look at some of these. And it says the findings, the top 10 cities for your wallet. You got Raleigh, North Carolina, Memphis, Tennessee, San Antonio, I don't see number 3. San Antonio, 4 Indianapolis, 5 Charlotte, North Carolina, 6 Richmond, Virginia, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Louisville. You see these starting to batch up here in the Midwest. And then Cincinnati, Ohio, number 10. The top 5 cities where Americans will make and lose the most money owning a home. All right, so this is fun. The top worst cities, or the top, I guess the top 5 cities. It's got it in green. Sorry, I guess this is maybe looking at appreciation. So San Jose, San Francisco, San Diego, Seattle, LA. Where you're going to not see that equity growth is Oklahoma City, Virginia Beach, Hartford, Connecticut, New Orleans, St. Louis. Where you've seen the highest equity growth, again, this is 2022, a lot of California. I'd love to see this updated now because I know that's where we are seeing some equity being lost. And I wanted to scroll down here. Oh, cost of living. That's what I wanted to see. So cost of living, the highest cost of living is New York 1, San Francisco 2, Seattle 3, Boston 4, Providence, Rhode Island 5. The lowest cost of living, Memphis, Tennessee, San Antonio, Texas, Houston, Texas, Cincinnati, Ohio, and Austin, Texas. Well, how about that? Cincinnati, Ohio is one of the lowest cost of living cities. So what does that look like? And we're going to, like I said, I'm going to show you guys specific. We're going to look at that median home price of $407,000. We're going to look at like 400 up to 450, that range, and show you what that will get in Cincinnati. Because going to this map right here on the National Association of Realtors, this is kind of a fun. If you guys want to play around with this, the metros where the median, it shows you the median area for prices and affordability. So if you look at Cincinnati, Ohio, you click into that. The median home price is $294,000. $200, 5.9% change year over year. And again, the median national is at 407, is what that previous article said. So Cincinnati's coming in at 294. Let's see, Columbus at 327. Louisville's at 270. Indianapolis, 311. So I'm just looking at some other kind of Midwest towns some folks are heading to. St. Louis, 266. Nashville, just 4 hours away, and where my my university alum was at David Lipscomb University, 401,000 median. So 110,000, just 4 hours. Nashville has seen a boom. A lot of people are getting priced out there. Knoxville, you're at 342. Atlanta, you're at 376. Let's go down in Florida. Orlando, 435. Tampa, St. Pete, 410. Interesting. We don't have Miami here. Sarasota, 525 for the median home price. Whew, it's getting up there. Cape Coral, Fort Myers, 439. Let's go East Coast. Oh man, I don't even want to look at DC. Interestingly enough, $629,000 median home price in DC. How did all that money get into that area? I don't know. You guys help me out on that one. Help me figure that one out. Okay, Philadelphia, 352. Newark, 635. Hartford, Connecticut, 357. Providence, Rhode Island, 462. Manchester, Nashua, 489. Boston, 734 median home price in Boston. Let's see what Chicago is. Gary, Indiana at 260. I guess we don't have 362 on the north side of Chicago. So we don't have kind of different places in Chicago. I want to go out west real quick. Anybody living out west watching this right now? Whoa, San Fran, 1.335 in San Francisco for median home price. Wow. 1.8 in San Jose, 915 in Salinas. Am I saying that right? Thousand Oaks, 904,000, 789 in LA. 1.25 in Anaheim, Santa Ana. San Diego, 942,000. These are the median home prices. Heading up to Seattle, 793,000 in Seattle, 599 in Portland, 451 in Salem. So Boise, 480. You got Californians watching. Let me know. Are a lot of people still? Where are the most people heading out from California? Is it Phoenix? Is it Vegas? Is it Boise, Idaho? Salt Lake? Curious where people have been going to. 546. But the idea here tonight is, what does it look like to come to Cincy? What is that cost of living here? What does that median home price get you here in Cincinnati? One resource I wanted to point out to you guys that is pretty cool. If you go over to CincinnatiExperience.com, lot of helpful, in terms of your jobs that are here, starting a business here, different neighborhoods to live in. What is the lifestyle like here? A lot of cool info here on this website. They've done a good job. This page is the cost of living index, and it's pretty cool. And you can kind of compare what you're going to be paying for housing, groceries, public transit, health, utilities. And what's fun is you can kind of just compare it to a city. This is based on the Council for Community and Economic Research. And see if I can just, so if we compare cost of living in Cincinnati compared to Los Angeles, Long Beach, transportation 50% lower. Housing is going to be 64% lower. What does it look like with San Diego? 61% lower housing. San Jose is 74% lower housing here in Cincinnati. Now, I would love for you guys to chime in the chat and say, steel man the argument for me and say, like, why Cincinnati sucks or why you don't want to leave 70 degrees and sunny in the ocean. I get that. We do have some gray days come January and February, which is why I always schedule a trip with my wife whenever I can and whenever we can get childcare for our 5 kids to go down to Mexico and see the sun in the winter, because if not, I might get upset. But the nice thing is, because I'm saving 74% on my housing cost compared to San Jose, I can retreat to Mexico to go to Cancun in the winter and still be able to pay for my kids' college and weddings one day. Where else are you guys watching from? Let's just check it out here. Compared to Phoenix, 30% lower in terms of housing compared to, let's go, Chicago? Let's take a look at Chicago here. Oops. 40% lower in terms of housing than Chicago. I'm curious if they've updated this lately. Let's look at Nashville. Franklin, 22. So I bet that's a little bit behind. Texas, Austin, Texas, 25% cheaper than Texas. Just housing. You guys can see all of that. So this is a fun little tool to play around with in case you want to check out the cost of living calculator. All right, now let's get into the heart of this, because I want to show you guys what houses look like here in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, in this 400,000 range. And I can tell you some neighborhoods just off the bat, just scrolling out here, looking where you could find these. On the outside of 275 in Northern Kentucky, Independence, Florence, you're going to find homes in the 300s even. But Union, you're going to find even some new construction. You're going to find homes in Loveland, Mason, Westchester for sure, Batavia, Amelia, and a house that you'll find. We're going to see a lot of these. If you want to get closer into town, you can find something like this in Norwood. But if you want a 4-bedroom, 2,800 plus square foot home, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, this is what the median home price in America will get you in Cincinnati. Okay. So just taking a look at this house, 4 beds, 3 baths, 2,800. This is very common. This is Mainville, Ohio, but you can see a neighborhood like this built in 1992. You're going to see a lot of homes built from the 90s to the early 2000s around Cincinnati. There's kind of a boom there for building. And so you'll see this brick home, 2,800 square feet. Here's kind of what it looks like on the inside. You're going to have hardwood floors, nice open floor plan, you're going to have 4 bedrooms upstairs. You're probably going to have a finished basement, kitchen into the living room, fireplace. You're going to have a nice flat backyard that the kids can play in, have a dog, easy, formal dining room, 3 baths. So this one is, 2 full upstairs, probably half on the first floor. Looks like they redid some of the vanities upstairs in the master ensuite. Looks like they did the whole bathroom up there, which looks really nice. And I'm guessing this one doesn't have the finished basement, but all these homes, very common to see. You'll get actually, this does have a finished basement. So there you go. This is coming down the basement, kind of a vinyl flooring. So you can have your rec room down here. You can watch the Bengals downstairs, put a bar in there, enjoy that, or use that as a home office. They've got an epoxy garage. You got a big flat backyard. Again, this is the median home price in Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay. $425,000. You're going to see this house all day long. You can get, and that was built in 92. So maybe you don't want that one. Maybe you want something newer. Maybe you want a condo downtown. So here's something on Vine Street in OTR. You're getting a 2-bed, 2-bath condo for 1,200 square feet. And now you're right in the middle of everything downtown. So you can get that for $425,000, $415,000, excuse me. Updated kitchen. And you are, if I'm looking at this stunning open concept condo in OTR right above Quan Hapa. Oh, guys, they had Quan Hapa. If you ever get here, they have this like cauliflower pancake that they made. So good, but great ramen there. Highly recommend Quan Hapa, one of my favorites downtown. So you're right in the middle of OTR, all those restaurants, all that downtown living. This is one day on Zillow for $415. So there's your median home price. I mean, just to compare, where are we? Let me just see what I can find in downtown Seattle for 400. You're getting a condo, you're getting a studio for 465 square feet, 527 square feet studio. So again, really cool, right in kind of the heart of downtown, but half the square footage, not even half, in Seattle. We'll look at more of those maybe tonight. So zooming back out, let's look at some other homes. Let's go into Northern Kentucky. Or maybe you want some land. Let's go out a little further. What does it look like to get? I'm guessing. Wonder how many acres this is. This is a 2-bed, 2-bath house, 1,500 square feet, but it's got a looks like a full horse barn and stable and hot tub. And how many acres? There's 1.2 acres. You can get that for $430,000. Just had a price cut. That looks fun. So this is the median home price in America, and where most people can't afford, that article stated can't afford it. Here in Cincinnati, you can get a house with a full horse barn and stable, 2-car garage, hot tub. This place looks awesome. I kind of want to move here. Working garage there, along with your 2-car garage, for $430,000. That's kind of cool. That's in Butler, Kentucky. Let's go back up a little bit north. Sell a lot of houses here in Union. I like Union in Northern Kentucky a lot. Really good public schools and some pretty cool development happening with the right in this kind of area, happening in Union right by Ryle High School. So, all right, what can you get? You can get new construction. You can get 2,400 square feet. So if you want, this looks like a kind of a townhome, ranch style townhome. I'm guessing with the HOA, they might even take care of, this is trees, that they might even take care of your landscaping. So you can get a brand new townhome, 2,400 square feet, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, $432,000. And they'll show you all the finishes here, what that looks like. That's the median home price in America. You can get brand new construction, 2,400 square feet. If you don't want new construction, let's say you want more square feet. Here's in Union, Kentucky. So again, I mentioned that house up in Mainville. This looks kind of similar, right? It is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,100 square feet. So it's got about 300 more square feet than the one in Mainville. Again, Great backyard. Let's take a look at this. It's going to be a similar floor plan. So you've got an office on the first floor with doors that you can shut. You got a formal dining room right off your entryway there. First floor living room. These guys are set up for something. They got the 3 TVs going. That's kind of cool. Open kitchen. You got an eat-in kitchen plus the formal dining room. You've got a glass sliding door out to the back. I like what they did with the island here. So this has been updated since the house was originally built. Upstairs, so you're going to go upstairs. You're going to have the master on one side. You're going to have the kids' beds on the other. So you've got a large private master with, look at this, kind of a sitting room. That's a huge master bedroom up there. And then you've got the double vanity, large bathtub. Really nice bathroom. Bedroom 2 upstairs. There's your hall bath for the kids. Bedroom 3 upstairs. Bedroom 4 upstairs. There's another bathroom. That's probably the first floor half bath. There's your first floor laundry, it looks like. Deck off the back. Looks like they got a screened-in 3-season room back there. Or am I looking at the neighbor? Sorry, I guess that's the neighbor's house. But you got a nice deck, plenty of firewood, so you can throw that in your wood-burning fireplace. Forced air conditioning, forced air, and an unfinished basement. So that's at $450 for the 3,100 square feet. That's what so that's a little higher. So let's maybe try to find something a little bit lower. Here's 3,200 square feet for $440,000. Also in Union, Kentucky. Again, brand new construction. So you're going to get a little bit less square feet. But if you want the more modern design, you're around 2,500 square feet. This is in Ballyshannon and Union. You're getting that for $430,000. Again, we're right around the national median home price. And I'm just showing you guys what you can get here in Cincinnati for that national median. And this is why I get calls from so many people and love helping. Okay, this one's a little closer to that 407 number. So 410, 2,500 square feet. Again, in Union, built in 0.3 acre lot. I'm guessing, I'm not seeing the age, but I'm guessing that was early 2000s there. Let's go back up into Ohio. And let's look over in Amelia. So a little bit similar. East side of Cincinnati. This looks newer, half-acre lot, built in 2018, 2,800 square feet, 4-bed, 3-bath. So again, you're going to see that 4-bed, 3-bath, 27 to 3,000 square feet. Might have a finished basement, might not. Let's see if this one has a finished basement. And this one's a little bit more modern, a little bit more updated because it was built in 2018 versus kind of that early 90s. You got your unfinished basement down here at that price point. And what's nice about Amelia and Anderson Township, and Forest Hills here has some great schools. I used to live over here on the east side of Cincinnati in Anderson, and you've got 2 ways into downtown. You can pop out on 275 and hit 471 into downtown, or you can take 50 and 52 into downtown this way, Columbia Parkway. So it's if you ever get hit traffic, or if there's a president in town or something like that, there where something gets shut down, you've always got access to get back out to the east side really easily, which I like. So let's look at something a little bit older, maybe here in Norwood or Clifton. Let's see what's here in Clifton. So this is up by University of Cincinnati. You're going to get some older homes here, and that are probably going to be see what we can find that have been rehabbed in the area. So 1,900 square feet. This one was built in 1912. So if you want that house that has a little bit more character, that's a little bit closer into downtown. So instead of maybe in the burbs and you're being, 25 minutes from downtown, you want to be, 10 to 15 from downtown. You can look at Norwood. Norwood's super cute. A lot of great houses. But again, they're 100-year-old homes. And so you're going to have some squeaking hardwood floors. You're going to have, some insulation that's not going to be as solid, but you're going to get this beautiful woodwork. You're going to get, the charm, the character, the pocket doors. This is a home very similar to my house's layout in Fort Thomas. really pretty staircases. So this is what, but it's only 1,900 square feet. It's going to feel less open. This one's been updated pretty nicely, but in general, you're going to get less square feet overall when you're looking at houses in, Norwood or anything kind of close, anything that's older, right? Anything that's 70 years or older, which you find a lot of those closer in downtown. If you want that newer suburban home, basically get a little bit outside of I-275, both in Ohio. So like Loveland, Milford, Batavia, Anderson on the inside, sometimes on the inside. On the west side of town, you probably even get even more house and maybe even a little bit more land out here. Let's take a look. 3,500 square feet. I think I've looked at this house. And let's see how big the lot is. Half an acre. Is it really 3,500 square feet? It's deceiving. So that it looks like there's some home off the back. It's kind of a split level home here. Generally on the west side of Cincinnati, if you're looking for land or space or maybe even more house for your dollar, you can find it out here. It's the access into town is not quite as great. On the west side, I would say it's a little bit more challenging, but still, if you want to get a lot of house for your dollar, something out here in Delhi or Westwood, you can get a lot of house for your dollar out here. Cheviot, something like that. So, okay. Does that help you guys out? I hope that makes sense what you can get. So my whole idea here was like houses are unaffordable across the country. For most people, with interest rates, with housing prices going up and with wages not keeping pace, then for a lot of people, they're unaffordable. It's too much of your annual income. 35% versus that 28% and below is where it needs to be affordable. And yet there's a city here like Cincinnati where that median home price of $410, roughly around there, you're not getting a shack for $410, right? You're getting a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house with a basement and maybe like a third to a half an acre lot. Some that was built in the last 20 to 30 years. You can get that here. And if you want to be closer into town, you can get a condo right in the heart of over the Rhine, and have that walkability right by Washington Park, for that same price. So if you want that urban living and the walkable lifestyle, you can have that for the same price. So that was what I wanted to show you guys tonight. I think I don't want to belabor the point. I think you guys get it. So I'll stop. But I was playing around a little bit earlier looking at Seattle and just, I don't really fully understand it as someone who's lived here in Cincy my whole life. Like, I don't understand how you budget. Like, I don't understand how you save for retirement. I don't understand, like with the cost of living that high, I just don't fully get it. So you guys can enlighten me. But there's, as the nation continues to get crunched and squeezed in terms of these housing prices and mortgage rates, there's a reason why so many people are moving to the Midwest. And, for those of you who haven't seen my pros and cons video or cost of living video, I just wanted to kind of go through and show you, hey, we got something to offer here. We've got great housing, but it's also a great place to live. Hamid says that same house was worth 40% less during 2021 with the wage and adjusted with location. This increase also still unaffordable. And that could be true. I totally get that. It's I'm comparing to other places around the country, and yeah, we've seen roughly, you're about right. Yeah. We've seen roughly 30%, I would say, the last 3 years. So 23, 22, and 21, 40. And yeah, we've seen in this year, we've probably seen about 5%, 5 to 7% growth. So it's slowed down a little bit. And it's really challenging. I totally get it. Like, to be able to get something, so if you're looking, let's change this up. So I wanted to show what the median you could get, but let's look. Let's say you can't afford that, which I totally understand. A lot of people can't. Let's look at that 250 range, even. Okay, here in Cincinnati, which is more doable. And I understand that interest rates are still, certainly a huge challenge, um, and have made it more expensive. But you can find a decent house, for 200 to 250 in that range. It's going to be more challenging for sure because there's a lot more, as price points go down, there's a lot more. There's a lot more competition in that buyer pool. So in this 2 to 250 range, um, and here's what I would, Northern Kentucky, I would probably look around Florence, Erlanger. Um, here's a home, and I just flipped a home in Burlington, Kentucky, that was very similar to this. It's a buy level. The one I flipped it's pending right now, but it's 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 936 square feet. It's not that it's not the home that's double the price in terms of square footage, but it is a house, right? And it's something that can appreciate for you. And so if home prices continue to go up, let's say in 3 more years, let's say it's not 40%, but let's call it 20%. 20%, if you could buy this house today for 220, 20% in 3 years is what? $44,000 of equity that you're gaining in those 3 years. So can you put that together? That's the question. Now, could home prices go down? Yes, certainly they could. And so you might say, well, I don't want to buy at the peak. I don't want to buy when interest rates are at their peak. But we don't know that it's at the peak. And home prices could certainly go down. And so I think one thing you definitely need to consider is, um, what's your time horizon? If it's anything less than 2 years, I might advise you, like, okay, maybe you should still rent. But if you're looking to live in something for, over 2 years, 3 years or more, um, you even if home prices if we get knocked down really hard, like the Great Recession, which was it had only happened like one other time in America's history in the 1930s with the Great Depression in terms of home prices dip, and it came back in like 5 years. And so, instead of renting, would you want to live in a place for 5 years? So you can find this house, and like I said, we help a lot of people, but you can find this buy level out there. This is a very common floor plan that you see. It's a split level. You're usually going to have 2 to 3 bedrooms upstairs with your living room and kitchen and kind of dining area, one more bedroom and a rec room, and then your garage. And this is a great little house. It's better than renting, right? It's better than being in an apartment. And can you get 20% equity? 20% equity on a $250,000 home in is what, 50 grand? Can you get 20% equity in 3 years? Yeah, we've seen 30, like you said, 30 to 40% in the last 3 years. So I totally understand. It's so hard. Affordability is so hard, and I really do sympathize with the generation. I see mixed bag, right? Um I see a lot of Gen Z saying, like, just kind of yelling at boomers, like, you had it easier, you had it the easiest, and everything was given to you. And I'm kind of like, yeah, they did live in a very good economy. They also worked their butts off. Like everyone, a lot of the boomers I know, and especially their generation before them, they knew how to work, right? And I'm not saying Gen Z doesn't know how to work. I'm not saying millennials don't know how to work. Like, it is a different situation, but I understand the argument from both points because I understand that housing affordability is really hard right now. But there have been waves like that in the past. Like if we go to St. Louis Fed interest rates US. All right. Where is it? That's not what I want. Funds, there we go. Okay. So let's get some perspective. Okay. This chart is really helpful for me. This is the federal funds effective rate. Well, that's not what I want. I want mortgage interest rates. It's going to be a very similar chart though. 30-year fixed mortgage. Going back to 1971. Look at that. 7.54 in 1971. That feels really familiar, doesn't it? Here today, 7.76, 7.31, 7.63. We're right there. What goes around comes around, doesn't it? So people 50 years ago in the 70s, they're feeling what you were feeling, right? Man, 7% interest rates, lots of inflation, inflation. Look at these interest rates. Well, bam, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18%. Hey, that's my birthday. 1981, October. I was born at close to 19% interest rates. And so if you compare today to 2020 at 2.7, today sucks. I agree with you. But 2020 was weird on a number of levels. Can we all agree on that? And just look at I'm not just saying COVID, but look at this chart for interest rates. That was the anomaly. Under 3% 30-year fixed rates. That was the anomaly. That had never happened. Where we are right now has happened a lot. 6s, 7s, 8s, 10s, 9s, 10s. And so I think, it's important to point out interest rates now are much higher than they've been. We've seen a big spike here and they continue to go up. Now it sounds like they might pull them back a little bit, but who knows? What if this goes up to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Could. It could. And what if home prices stay, keep climbing? Show you one more chart. US home prices. Median sales price. All right. Look at this. Which direction is this chart going? I'm not trying to mock you guys. I'm just trying to say, home prices go up. They went down twice. 2008 recession. Let's see if I could go. What's the max on this chart? It goes back to 1963. Home prices steady up. They did go down from Q4 last year to Q2, but that was in certain areas of the country. Didn't happen here in Cincy. But current median home price 431 of Q3 of 2023. And so I guess what I'm saying is, yes, this spike right here sucks if you don't have a home. If you did have a home, hooray, you got a crap ton of equity right now, right? And I'm saying, if you were a betting person, which way do you expect this chart to go going forward? Up. Even if it goes down, this was the Great Recession right here. That's the worst thing I've seen in my lifetime. Right there. And it bounced back and up, way up. Right? Sorry if that hurt your ears. And yes, and interest rates went down, and now they're spiking. And they could go up. That's my point. But if they go down and you buy something right now, you refinance. Mad Barber, what is up? Cincinnati is about to get an influx of out-of-state buyers and home prices are going to rise. Yeah, they've been rising here. We were the fastest growth rate, I think, for the last year is what a recent article I saw. Hey, it's all good on the typo. It happens. So, yeah, I mean, I think there are places, going back to kind of this map, like more and more people are like, I can't do this. Like, I can't do 500, 600, 700, 800,000, 900,000 median home price. I will never be able to own a home. I will never be able to grow wealth. And I think there's a lot of people who are, like I said, who are looking at their job and they're saying, there's a spot in the country, and it's generally around here-ish, where okay, there aren't mountains and there aren't oceans, but there's some pretty cool things happening. And I'm not gonna lie, there's some cool things happening in my city. You should come check it out. So would love to help you with that. Guys, I'm about to bounce here because I need to go watch the Bengals beat the Bills. And I think I need to like get into the zone here, right? We need to keep pace. So I expect it to be a very high scoring game. And I'm hoping that we see the Joe Burrow and the Bengals that we saw last week versus the 49ers, and not the Joe Burrow and the Bengals that we saw against second half of Seahawks or the Tennessee Titans, which was a terrible. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so if I was in your shoes getting going, I get it. Like, inflation sucks. Higher interest rates suck. Home prices being so high is rough. But I guess what I'm saying is, like, can you scratch and crawl, so that you don't get lapped completely? I mean, the difference between the wealthy and the poor, that is just, it keeps widening in the country. And I think eventually there will be some kind of reset. I mean, history proves that over and over again. But in the meantime, what can you do to buck the system? Like, what can you do to get in the game, start playing the game? And then you can start to get some momentum. If you can get a house, no matter what, what it is, and start building some equity. And then maybe a few years later, you cash in on that house, you buy the next one, you get the ball rolling. So I think, if I were to speak to Gen Z, while I certainly feel for the situation of wages not being as high, keeping pace with inflation and keeping pace with home prices and interest rates, I would also say do whatever you can to get in the game. Like, once you have some chips and you can play in the game, then you can build some momentum. So whatever that is, side hustles, gift funds, like saving. I house hacked with my wife for before that was a phrase on Bigger Pockets. The first house we ever bought, we had roommates, and they paid part of our mortgage, and we saved some money that way. And then the next house we bought was a duplex, and we rented out our first house because we had an asset that we could control. We had rental income from that, a little bit a month, and we lived in a crappy duplex, which I still own, and we still rent out. And we started just gaining these chips. We started getting momentum. But even after we moved out of the duplex, we bought, actually after that we rented for a year. And then we got a house, but we had roommates in that house. We had kind of live-in nannies who helped pay with our mortgage. So we've been house hacking for the majority of our marriage. We'll be married 18 years in December. And I would say for 10 to 12 of those years, we had roommates living in our house with our kids. So it can be done. Get creative and be flexible, and try to get some chips to build momentum. That's kind of my point here. And for those of you who are looking nationwide, the other point I had was just what you can get here in Cincinnati. A lot of you guys know this already, but what you can get here is a lot more than what you can get in other places. And then you can start stacking and building those chips, and maybe actually start building some wealth versus, the statistics in terms of people living paycheck to paycheck and who don't have any savings nationwide blow my mind. And so beyond Cincinnati being a freaking sweet city to live in with art and architecture and music and food and sports and great people and plenty of jobs and, temperate weather and four seasons. And there's a lot going for this city. It's a great place to raise a family. I say that again and again and again on this channel. I have 5 kids and I don't want to move anywhere else because this is a place that not only is a safe and good place to raise my kids in terms of schools and diversity and education, but it's a place where they can stay. There's a place where they will choose, or probably most of them will choose to stay because it's a freaking cool city. And it's affordable. And so it's not going to price them out. So my goal, and a lot of people don't have this goal, I get that, but my goal is I want to be around my grandkids. That's my goal. I want to raise my kids well, see them married, and enjoy my grandchildren. And Cincinnati is a place where I can do that. And it's also a place where I can watch Joe Burrow for the next 8 years. So I'm off to do that. Guys, thank you for jumping in. I so appreciate you. Be sure to click that like button if you haven't already so that more people can check this out. Feel free to drop questions in the chat. If you're watching this and you're like, man, it feels out of reach. If you haven't talked to a lender yet, I highly recommend it. I've got some great lenders I can connect you with. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to do a hard credit pull. But if you're renting right now and you're saying, what could I actually get in mortgage? What kind of low down payment options are out there? Would love to chat with you guys about that. Hit us up. Hit me in the comments, info@teamstanyo.com. You can email me. Our team would love to help you. If you are a real estate agent watching this, I'm going to plug this one more time. If you're an agent in the area and you've seen your business go downhill because there have been a lot less houses sold in the last year because sellers don't want to sell their houses and inventory is low, I'll just remind you of what Matt Barber said, which is people are going to move here. And people are reaching out to us at Team Stanyo a lot. And we are looking for great agents, experienced agents to join the team. So if you have experience as an agent and you're like, hey, that dude, I wouldn't mind working with that guy, reach out. I would love to talk to you. We are hiring. All right, guys, Houday, go Bengals. Let's see if we can stop Josh Allen and the Bills and keep pace with the rest of the AFC. Dang it, I freaking don't want to go to Arrowhead for the playoffs again. Looks like it might happen. Miami didn't hold up tonight. All right, you guys rock. Have a great night. Have a great week.